Back at it again. Yo, YouTube, how you doing? Okay. Podcast. Yeah, what's up, YouTube? How are you doing? Welcome to another live stream. I'm gonna be online for about half an hour before I have to get ready and go because going for dinner with the whole family, parents, brothers, and all that stuff. So yeah, that's what's gonna happen. How's your Saturday so far? Hopefully it has been pleasant. Maybe a band-aid. Good morning. Bones, Habibi. Yeah, I wrote it down here now. Ramjack, Ibrahim, Admin. Welcome, Flotti, Sina, Elaine. Good to have you here. Perkyo, did a podcast came up in discussions with your business coach here on headphones only? No, so haven't yet spoken about a podcast. I also don't know like what kind of podcast would it be. I mean, it takes quite a lot of time as well. So I don't know. Maybe one day I'll be invited to a podcast about trading. Would be fun. Would be fun. It wouldn't be my first podcast because of the gaming esports industry where I'm a lot more well known. So I do have podcast experience, but not around trading. David, welcome. Cryptoman. It suits you. Yeah, the one way or the other way. Both work. No. Oops, the clock is counting down. That is true. I like the hoodie. Cheers, Admin. It's a nice one. Yeah, I like it. It's a good one. So yeah, what we're going to do in this live stream is mainly focus on the local price action. So the higher time frames have been covered in the previous video. So I mainly want to share my thoughts about what's happening locally because as mentioned in the previous video as well, is in the live stream, I actually more like to focus on what we see here because there is a bullish structure that is forming and for the bearish scenario we need to do a little bit more digging because I've only looked at this structure here very shortly. So now you can so that is what we're gonna do. And yeah, that being said, let's start, shall we? Rostam, by the way, welcome. Okay, Habibi, good to have you here. So we do have some support below price, right? The blue box, 67.1, 67.4. It's not yet hit, daily naked point of control, and we also have a monthly point of control, naked point of control there, right? 67.2, 67.375, right? So that's an interesting area of support. The question is, will we hit it? Because if I look at the structure to the upside so far, then I can identify some sort of, wow, that was quick. Elaine, welcome. Thanks for the support, eh? Yo, appreciate that. Elaine, cheers. Cheers, cheers, cheers. Welcome to bronze, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for your support. Kicking off immediately. So there is quite a nice diagonal here to the upside. Of course, I'm on a 15-minute time frame. Don't really like to go to a 5-min, but you can recognize the diagonal structure, no? And if we look at a bullish scenario, keeping in mind that it is weekend, then pretty much the only one that we can have is a wave 1, 2 already finished, then a diagonal 1, 2, right? Also finished, very likely at least. And if not, then we have to move below this too. Now this wave 2 here, the blue one, either finished here or later. I prefer later because of course if this is very bullish, we need to count another 5-wave structure in here. And it's a bit difficult to count a 5-waver here. So probably would put this 2 here, but by all means, the low of your wave 2 would be your invalidation. No? This is your invalidation here. And then what you're going to be looking for is in the most bullish scenario another 1, 2, right? 1, 2, ta ta ta. Now on the lower time frames, as mentioned, preferably your wave 2 ends probably here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. There could be there could even be another diagonal here on the lower time frames. It's of course very messy. Let me do a couple of measurements here. Yeah, I don't want to go in too much detail. I'll remove this one too, though. So I don't really like going all the way 5 and 3 minute counting. So pretty much what we're looking for is 1, 2, and either 2 is finished or it's not yet finished. You know, like in the end, we're looking for price to move to the upside, and then your invalidation for the blue wave 2 is this low, right? 67.1K. So that is the invalidation. Now, when we look at the retracements for the wave 2s, your first 2 retraced to the 0.5, right? That is a common target for a wave 2. Right? And then your impulse to the upside has to be counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, followed by a corrective 2. Then you have your second wave 1, where price retraced to the 0.382, touched. It's not the common target area. The most common target area for a wave 2 is the 05786, which is below price. Right? So that would be pretty much the target box here, the support box, pretty much. And then you want to see price moving up. Now let's have a look at time as well. For time from the start to the end, we are currently past the 1-to-1, it seems. Right? Wave 2 can extend longer. That's no problem. Also keeping in mind the weekend. So look, we don't know what's going to happen because it's the market. We never know. But we do have great support here. And starting a wave 3 in the weekend is very rare. That, or not even starting. I mean, you can start a wave 3 in the weekend, meaning you are building up 1-2s, right? And then as the markets open in the week, you start, right? That's when the wave 3 happens. So preferably throughout this weekend, we remain in the range and then start wave 3 next week, right? When the markets are actually open instead of during the weekend. It's just, when we think about the days, it's just a lot less common for a weekend to be very impulsive, because of course in a wave 3, you would expect price to you're going to move up, right? It's going to be like 1, 2, 1, 2, and then you're going to move towards the upside. You would expect 69.8, 70K. You're going to look for much higher. But it's weekend, so it's very uncommon for the weekend to do that. Not impossible, right? There's never 0 probabilities for something. So, but it would be nicer for the blue wave 2 to move into the common target area, because it's common for a reason. So the 05 to the 786 area, let me actually clean this up a little bit as well. So let me remove this. So it's nicer, right? The 382 is a target for a wave 2, by the way. So it is a target. It's just a less common target. And the 05786 is a common target. And we do have a daily naked point of control here at the top of this box. Interesting. Now, unfortunately, the monthly naked point of control is below the 886. So a double 1-2 would have very low probabilities if price moves down to the monthly naked point of control, because for a wave 2, the 886 is very rare. Never preferred unless all of the other stuff fails, right? So yeah, we might never revisit the monthly naked point of control, of course, but your common target area has the daily naked point of control, and the monthly naked point of control is below the 886, which is not ideal. So if you would go that low, then we need to relabel this green wave 2 and then remove the blue 1-2. Right? So then I would count this differently, and it's going to be a bigger corrective structure before you then want to see continuation to the upside. In other words, you can extend the weekend range, preferably till Monday, So when are the markets open? Central European time around like 1 or 2, like in at night. So in that case, preferably you're going to stick around in the range for a while and then only move up later. Now you can have finished 1-2 structures, that's no problem. But then eventually when the markets are open, that's when you actually prefer to see the push. So of course for this 1-2, your invalidation is down here. For the double 1-2, the invalidation is down here. So this is pretty much your bullish scenario. Not really thinking too much yet about probabilities as we are in the weekend and the range is forming. I can't deny this is a by the looks a pretty nice diagonal structure, which then has to be labeled as either a wave A or a wave 1, of course, in that regard. Now from a bearish perspective, your scenario here, if we first look at this structure, so without the move to the upside, we then look for a corrective move down, and there is of course the possibility for a flat or a WXY. So in a flat structure, you want price to at least retrace to the 0.9, which is a minimum target, which we haven't yet done. We just missed out actually on hitting the 0.9. Now your most common target is the expanding flat, 1.236 to the 1.38 Fibonacci, taken from the high to the low of A, 68.1, 68.2, right? And I'm actually curious, is that in confluence with any volume level here? Yeah, the value area low of the previous range is here. So we can keep this one on the chart. Oh, what color is that? I do like to have a few pulls here, see if it, no, okay, it's pretty much just, that's fine. So in the bearish scenario, this looks like quite an okay diagonal. So you could have 3 wave A, 3 wave B. Most commonly, wave B is a zigzag structure. Reject, start as C, but then you want C to move below A, which would create a bit of an issue because we don't have much support below A, right? And an expanding flat is most common with wave C moving below A, and this is your support, and below the, it's not too much, so you have to wick these lows and then move up. So because of the diagonal here, I have that. It's still very early, this range, but the probabilities, they're not bad for at least moving towards the upside, and possibly take this high, and then it depends on flat WXY or continuation. Interestingly, we have some bullish CVDs as well, which are not yet finished. So here at the low, higher low in price, lower low on yellow, right? It's a bullish CVD, and the target would be the high. And then here price is ranging sideways for quite a period of time today. And do we have any, let me go to the 5-minute, anything here? We have bullish CVD here, higher low in price, lower low on the CVD as well. So that's another one. Another one here, higher low in price, lower low on the CVD. That one already played out. So yeah, it looks like a solid structure and a move to the upside with the CVD and the identification of this diagonal. Retracement to the 382 is a minimum target. Yeah, there's definitely probabilities to take out that high, and then we'll see what happens next, pretty much. If you, let's see, hit the 886, always interesting, of course. Almost 886, just missed out on hitting the 886 earlier, but we might hit it now. Now hitting the 886 of course decreases probabilities for a wave 1, 2. Now by all means this doesn't really look like a wave 1 because of all the overlap here, so it looks more corrective. Now this of course looks impulsive corrective, so, and then you have a potential diagonal here. So yeah, when I looked at this range before the stream, the bullish scenario was quite clear, which is a multi 1-2. Even though it is weekend. It's quite a clear structure. So, but then again, it is weekend, so I like to hold back on strong continuation because of the weekend, and we do have support that's not touched. But if it goes, it goes. No. Bit of. Did we have some bullish CVD here as well? So we also had some bullish CVD here, higher low in price, lower low on blue. This one played out because we took this high. So yeah, if we do move, we're gonna continue to observe. It's probably gonna happen if something happens after the stream. So I can't yet say I'm confident about a wave 3 and continuation to the upside because it is weekend, and by having a diagonal, there is the potential for an ABC as well in a flat structure. So patience required. Besides, of course, a WXY. Yeah. Now that is, of course, talking about bullish scenarios. And because even if this is a 1 and you get a flat in 2, test support and then move up, that's still bullish, even though you move down into support, which weekend-wise would be ideal to actually still test this and continue the range instead of going into wave 3s during a Saturday or a Sunday. Your bearish scenario is that this structure here at the moment is counted as a wave 4 and a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and your invalidation is for a wave 4 is hitting this 68k. Of course, in the video earlier today, I mentioned the probabilities and how they switch, right, with new information coming in. Now, in a bearish scenario, this structure here will have to be a zigzag. So we need to be able to count this either a W or a wave A. For then a W, X, and a Y, or wave A, B, C. But an A, B, C can only be a flat. In other words, 3 wave A, 3 wave B, take the low of A and then C. That seems very unlikely at the moment because we are so high. So that then leaves you with a W, X, Y to continue this range sideways. So a zigzag in W, then we get wave X, and that also means that wave Y cannot be a zigzag. Wave Y can only be either a flat, so if you have wave X and then look for Y, Y can only be a flat structure or a triangle. A flat would be more common for wave Y in that regard. Wave X can be any corrective structure, which includes potential flats. So interesting. But yeah, we have bullish CVDs and bullish CVDs building locally as well. We can count a potential impulse here at least, but it's more. This is more interesting, the diagonal here, but that can be an A or a 1, and it is weekend. So that is the struggle here, of course, starting impulses during the weekend. So I'm still. I mean, probabilities locally, I would like to see the high taken, bullish CVDs playing out. The bullish CVDs in the range so far are then also supporting that move up. But after one takes potentially the high, I'm not sure what the probabilities will be. Wave 3 continuation, or you wick and you move down into support, which would for a weekend perspective would be nice. So yeah, that's gonna be a question. But with the bullish CVDs, yeah, arguably probability is a bit higher to move up. Don't want to shout too much yet about bull bear probabilities, as what is most important is what I wrote in the probabilities box earlier this morning. Oh, the side note can be removed now because that's literally what we are doing right now. So earlier today, I said, well, we have the different scenarios as explained in the previous video, so I recommend checking it out. But we're observing the local price action, which we have done right now as well. If price hits 68K, it will give a little bit of probabilities to the bulls at least, right? And 68K is this low. And the reason it gives a little bit of probabilities for the bulls is because you invalidate a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because you don't want to have overlap between a 1 and a 4 in an impulsive structure. Most bearish scenarios then a double 1, 2, but your second one is longer than your first, higher volume as well, a lot higher. So not really thinking about that just yet. But that would give a little bit more probabilities to bullish scenarios on the higher time frame. And then 69.5, which is this high here. If you take this, then the probabilities will increase more significantly for the bullish scenarios, which includes a continuation of this range and then a breakout to the upside at a later stage. If price takes the low at 66.2, the probabilities increase for the bears. Right? And if you hit 65.5, that is when probabilities significantly increase for more bearish scenarios. So we have an idea. And I also wrote to Silver earlier today. I said, well, I got a multi 1-2 potential scenario here. But it's just a brainstorm at the moment. We have the bullish CVDs. There is the potential for 1-2s, but it is weekend. And it is very uncommon in a weekend scenario to get big wave 3s. So, yeah. That is pretty much it with regards to probabilities on the higher time frames here. Mentioned in the previous video. And then locally, bullish CVD, potential diagonal, small little bull CVDs. I mean, yeah, it doesn't look too bad to take the high, but it's weekend, so I don't really... I can't give the highest probabilities to a wave 3 because weekend. It's very, very rare that happens. And we didn't actually... It would be nice to hit support, to be honest, but yeah. So these are the ideas locally. And... also very patient to see what happens with this here at the moment, right? This is most important. I don't mind being late to the party, but this is what will impact the probabilities most. So we also have bearish CVD. Nice, good. I just forgot to mention it. So the thing is, we had the bearish CVDs for quite long already here, but also low time frame, constantly a bit bullish CVD. But what I mean is, if I zoom out here, the bullish one, right, higher low in price, lower low on the CVD. But also look here, lower high on price, higher high on the yellow CVD. So that's a bearish one. But then on the lower time frames, as explained, we do have a bullish one that just played out here. Now back to a bearish one, but this is an 886 touch, I think, as well. So this is now very much a 3-waver. We touched the 886, so the probabilities are low that this is an impulsive structure to the downside, because for an impulse, the 886 is rare for a wave 2, and then a 1, 2, 3. So more common that any move down is corrective, increasing probabilities to take this high, and then you are very close to taking that high. So the weekend range will give us more information. It's still quite early though. Okay, and that is pretty much it, of course, with the probabilities in the previous video communicated, which are the most important levels, right? And the two closest to price is 68K and 66.2K. So, yeah. We do have the bearish on the 15, yes. But also in this range, low time frame, we had, even though you have bearish CVDs, we had constantly small 3-min bullish CVDs. So that is like countering the bearish one. So that is something I keep in mind. Yeah. The triangle with the subwaves is most beautiful. By the way, Flotty, what's that YouTube logo? Interesting. Yeah. The scenario that Floddy is talking about is hello, this one. So of course, in this case, we then need to look for a zigzag to the upside. Now, your common target for D is the 618786, most common, and we want to see a 535. So of course, arguably, you might enter this B if we are for that triangle, right? A, B, range, and then a C up next week. So your wave B can be quite lengthy, and then your C happens next week to the upside. And then you still get E, and then eventually you move to the upside. That's your bullish scenario. But for that to, of course, also gain more probabilities, you preferably take 68K and also eventually 69.5. Yeah. So let me have a look here. I didn't, I see Dave Digital is at consensus. I don't know what it is though. But I hope you have a good time. It does definitely look like you have a good time. On Monday, down or up? We'll see on Monday, no? We're going up or down. What's up with the up and down questions, guys? It's about probabilities, right? We're going up or down. You got to ask Satoshi. You will know probably. It's about probabilities. You got to speak in probabilities. Are the probabilities higher to move up or down? Now, I just explained the probabilities locally and also showed you this text box. That is all you need to know from an Elliott Wave point of view. What's up, Karim? Welcome. Good to have you here. That wave 5 is already completed on the 4-hour time frame, starting wave 1 at 50. No, at the moment, that's a low probability because your structure to the upside looks much better as a 3-waver, right? 1, 2, 3. Looking for a 4 and a 5. If this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, your wave 4 is shorter than 2, which is rare, at least very uncommon. And your wave 4 did not even reach the 0.236, which generally is a minimum target for 4. So the probabilities are not higher for a finished 5. Yeah. Would the weekend unexpected fraud? Yeah, maybe, but that would be a multi-1 too, but it is weekend, so I can't really give the highest probabilities to that. I do have to say, guys, that I do have to move because I have dinner with the family coming up. So I have to go, I have to change, get ready, and then move to the eastern side of the country to have dinner with all the others. So it's a relatively short live stream, of course, but hopefully you enjoyed it nonetheless. We will observe the local range and what's happening here. It is weekend. We have a support box below with a daily naked point of control and a monthly point of control. We have covered the range, right? Bullish and bearish, WXY and the multi 1-2 would be something to look for at the moment. But it is weekend, so seeing big impulses during the weekend is quite rare. And generally 68K or 66.2, that is most important. So for the diamonds that are here, by the way, please have a look at the Diamond Lounge chat and give me your feedback for the thumbnail, right? So yeah. Altcoin stream, yes. Tomorrow is altcoin stream day, and probably like next week I'm gonna launch a surprise for everyone. So that is when what I've been teasing you all about the past week, pretty much past 2 weeks, will launch next week. I recorded pretty much the last video. I can still add more, but the core content is done for the playlist. I'm just thinking about a thumbnail now, and I want the feedback of Diamond, so they are updated, and I still need to put timestamps and stuff actually in all of the videos. So okay, woo. Yo, everyone, thanks for hanging out. Trade safe. And yeah, I'll make sure to check Discord as well. But trade safe. It is weekend, right? It is weekend. So I'm gonna catch you again tomorrow. There won't be an update tonight because I'm having dinner. I'm in a restaurant. So yeah, but tomorrow morning there will be, and then tomorrow afternoon we will do another altcoin stream. There you go. So thanks for hanging out. Catch you soon.